Today, we're diving deep into the world of reality TV and Carlos King, a name that's been buzzing for a while. Carlos King has been involved in some serious discussions, and now, he's made headlines once again. From defending cast attacks on a show's star to admitting that he coaches reality TV stars and even discussing some behind-the-scenes drama involving men allegedly being paid by women on these shows, it seems like there's a lot to unpack. But, let's break it down and take a closer look at what's really going on. Carlos King has been known for his role in creating some of the most talked-about reality TV moments. He's had a hand in shaping shows like Love and Marriage and has had many stars under his guidance. But one of the most interesting things that came out recently was his open discussion about some serious behind-the-scenes business. He admitted to coaching reality TV stars, including giving them advice on how to perform on reunions and what to say to keep the drama alive. Now, we've all suspected this, but hearing it from Carlos King himself is a whole new level of insight. The world of reality TV has always been filled with drama, backstabbing, and exaggerated storylines. It's no secret that a lot of the drama we see on screen might not always be as real as we think. But when Carlos King opened up about the level of manipulation involved, it took things to a different place. He openly discussed how certain reality TV stars pay their husbands a percentage of their earnings. He mentioned Peter and Cynthia from Real Housewives of Atlanta, claiming that Cynthia allegedly paid Peter 10% of her salary for appearing on the show. Now, whether or not this is true, it raises some eyebrows. It makes you wonder what else is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Carlos then went on to talk about how many relationships on reality TV are fake and just for the camera. He specifically mentioned how some people stay together just to keep their spot on the show. He even pointed out that this was part of why he created Love and Marriage, to give the men a platform to speak their side of the story. This was his way of giving the men a voice, and while that sounds noble, there's a deeper issue here. His show has come under fire for depicting men who are disrespectful toward their partners, and yet, Carlos has continually defended this type of behavior. So, the question becomes, is this the kind of reality TV we want to support? What really stood out in his conversation was his justification for attacking the main star of the show. Carlos seems to believe that it's okay for cast members to gang up on the main star if they want to stay relevant. He openly defended this approach, saying it's a normal part of reality TV. Now, this is where things get complicated. If attacking the star is okay, then it makes you wonder what kind of message it sends to the audience. Reality TV is supposed to be a reflection of real lives. But when it becomes a spectacle of manipulation and drama, where do we draw the line? The attacks on the main star of the show have become a recurring theme. Claudia Jordan, who was also part of the discussion, echoed similar sentiments. She brought up how in order to stay relevant on reality TV, some cast members feel the need to attack the biggest name on the show. Carlos, instead of addressing the deeper issues, praised Claudia for her honesty, but it felt like a deflection. Why are we not having an honest conversation about the kind of behavior we're condoning on reality TV? Instead, we're being told that it's all part of the process, and that's just how the show works. But that doesn't seem right, does it? Carlos didn't stop there. He also discussed how Mel, a former star of Love and Marriage, allegedly felt uncomfortable filming with her ex-husband, Martel, who had been accused of some very serious behavior off-camera. Mel reportedly expressed her discomfort to Carlos but was told that this was just the way the show had to go. According to Carlos, it was important for the men to have their voices heard, even if that meant putting the women through uncomfortable situations. Carlos seems to believe that reality TV is about capturing everything, no matter how messy or inappropriate it might be. But what about the well-being of the cast members? What about their mental health? Carlos also briefly mentioned how Mel had shared her concerns about feeling unprotected as a black woman, but he quickly pivoted away from that conversation. It's as though Carlos King was more interested in creating drama and keeping the show moving than addressing the real issues that were at hand. The fact that he didn't even acknowledge Mel's concerns about being treated unfairly is troubling. In reality TV, the personal lives of the cast members are laid bare for the world to see, and when you have a showrunner like Carlos King pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable, it raises serious questions about accountability. One of the more baffling moments during this discussion was when Carlos King bragged about Love and Marriage being the first show to feature a divorced couple, where the ex-husband remained a full-time cast member despite being involved in legal issues. He seemed proud of this accomplishment, but it felt like a poor decision. Should we be celebrating a show that continues to showcase toxic behavior? Should this be the standard for reality TV? Carlos seemed to think it was groundbreaking television, but for many viewers, it just felt like exploitation. Carlos also had some choice words about the way the women on Love and Marriage have been treated. He defended his decision to include men who disrespect their partners and create chaos. Carlos seemed to suggest that this type of behavior is part of the reality TV formula. He justified the men's actions by saying that their stories needed to be told, but what about the women? What about the emotional toll it takes on the cast when their lives are turned upside down for the sake of entertainment? And then, there was the issue of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Carlos King had a lot to say about the show's dynamics, specifically about the tension between certain cast members and how it played out in the public eye. He talked about how Cynthia exposed how producers pressured her to bring up a certain storyline involving another cast member, Phaedra. According to Carlos, Cynthia was uncomfortable with it, but he still pushed her to do it. He didn't acknowledge her feelings, and instead, he went on to spill other people's business in an attempt to get back at her for speaking out. This is exactly what I mean when I say that Carlos King seems more interested in stirring the pot than addressing the real issues. If he's willing to expose other secrets, how much trust can we place in the way he handles the show's cast members? The constant theme in Carlos's conversation is that drama, manipulation, and chaos are necessary for reality TV to work. He believes that without these elements, the show won't be interesting, and the ratings will drop. But at what cost? When you take a step back and look at what's being presented to the audience, it's clear that these tactics are being used to push a certain narrative. Reality TV isn't about reality anymore, it's about creating moments that shock, disturb, and entertain the audience, even if it means crossing ethical boundaries. This idea of creating drama at any cost isn't new to the world of reality TV. We've seen it time and time again, producers pushing cast members to exaggerate their personal lives, to fabricate storylines, and to get into heated arguments to keep the audience entertained. But what happens when the line between reality and fiction becomes too blurry? When does it become harmful to the people involved? Carlos King's approach to reality TV may have worked in the past, but it's clear that times are changing. Viewers are becoming more aware of the manipulation behind the scenes, and many are starting to question whether the entertainment is worth the price that cast members pay for it. It's no longer enough to just create drama for the sake of entertainment. We need to think about the long-term impact that these shows have on the people involved. In conclusion, Carlos King has once again found himself at the center of controversy, and his recent statements only add fuel to the fire. From defending the idea of attacking the star of the show to admitting that he coaches cast members behind the scenes. It's clear that Carlos is no stranger to manipulating reality TV for the sake of drama. But as the lines between reality and entertainment blur, the question remains, is this the kind of reality TV we want to continue supporting? It's time for a shift, and it's time to start holding those responsible for the toxic environment in reality TV accountable. Reality TV can be entertaining, but it shouldn't come at the cost of the people involved. Let me know what you think about this entire situation in the comments below.